Let's talk about the application process. Let's talk about what you knew of the application process back then,
Yeah.
and how did you go on to research about how to write better, compelling essays?
Yeah. I broadly like sort of dividing the application into four parts. Not all of them have the same weightage. There is the profile or the CV, the document which you send, which is basically a collection of everything which you've done, the schools you've gone to, the jobs you've done, the extracurriculars you've done, and it's sort of, if you can compile that into one document, your profile. Secondly, your letters of recommendation. Third, your GMAT, and fourth, your essay. Now, of course, you need a good GMAT score, but at the same time, one of the myths is that a high GMAT means you got into the school of your choice, and a low GMAT means not. Both these myths are wrong, and there'll be several exceptions on both sides. So, GMAT is an indicator of academic performance, and that's about it. Then, of course, the letters of recommendation, which I would say should ideally be with someone. It helps that the person is senior and if the person is an alum, but most importantly, the person should know you well and be able to put their head out and give you a strong recommendation with specific, tangible examples, something which at times people get wrong. Then your CV, of course, your profile, everything you've done, and there's limited stuff which you can do in the next 6 months. Joining us suddenly in an NGO may not always be the bad idea. May not always be a good idea, beg your
Great
pardon.
idea.
So
Yeah.
so you need to think about it beforehand, maybe think about it a few years before,
Yeah.
and plan in advance. But then coming to the essay, this is an extremely important document for your application. And by the way, one thing which you can actually put in an effort and change it and make a difference to your application by writing a powerful story.
Mm,
So now talking about the story, I think there are different ways to think about it.
mm,
One of the things which people often follow is a template,
mm,
which is a chronological series of events
mm, mm,
about how I was always so good and how I
mm,
always had a big vision and I've been moving towards it. I did this, which was awesome. Then I did this, which was awesome. Then I crushed
mm,
here, crushed here, crushed here. And this is
mm,
how awesome I am, and admit me.
mm,
Every school sees through that, and your life cannot all be connected so beautifully well. Uh, so the caveat is a lot of people do that and very successfully. And there's a standard template. I personally don't find it so authentic and genuine, and feel that every 20, 25 year old makes a lot of mistakes and learns, and you cannot potentially always be a rock star. Like that's
yeah.
just not
It's
possible.
impossible. Yeah.
Right. You always develop and grow and mature. I think that's more important than always being the topmost performer in something. So the kind of essay I would suggest is a very powerful essay. The first one could be a good essay and you can get in, but to really distinguish yourself and create a difference in that document,
Mm,
it should be authentic, it should be candid, it should tell the mistakes you've made, the things you went wrong with, the fact that at times you did not know what you were doing, but at
mm,
the same time, with all those mistakes or confusion, you learned, you took
mm,
feedback. If you
mm,
notice, several recommendations have that question: how does the candidate react to feedback? Because that shows how receptive you are and how much you grow. So
mm,
improving and growing and failing but succeeding, for sounding cliched, that's really much more important, that you've gradually become and evolved as a person. I would consider that as a stronger, powerful essay. And just one last thing on that, I think the first paragraph of the essay is extremely important because that's your first impression. And as I shared yesterday, so will I do today. My first line was because I thought I had a boring profile. I started by saying last year I fell in love at first sight, and I then talk about my wife, but then gradually make it about more serious stuff and about decisions making in life. So my point is, you should move the reader, completely shock them, and create a powerful impact with your first paragraph.